angels among states and governments in the Middle East, but the Saudi regime is a murderous, brutal, rogue regime that is the enemy of democracy and is willing to use the most savage methods, including now bombing Yemen into a famine situation which will affect the entire population, and to do so openly and blatantly. And, as we saw with the Khashoggi affair, a journalist who wished to speak out and call for a free press and the right of people in the Middle East to criticise regimes like this is brutally murdered by people who've been clearly now identified as associates of Crown Prince bin Salman. Now, what are we going to do about this? And just to talk about all parties, this is a rogue regime. And the US and the UK continue to arm these people, to kill people in Yemen, murdering people in an embassy in Turkey. Can you please just explain to me, why do we expel Russian diplomats after Salisbury and we are not expelling the US ambassador, Saudi ambassador and Saudi diplomats after what is being done in Yemen and with Jamal Khashoggi?
Taoiseach, I'm disappointed with your answer, and you didn't answer my two questions yet either. Did you raise the plight of the people of Yemen and the threat of starvation this week at the European Foreign Minister Council, or did you just talk about the journalist? I mean, I'm amused by the fact that the journalists are getting such coverage and the ordinary people of Yemen are being starved to death. It's been established by an independent body that the majority of the bombing in Yemen has hit non-military targets. They're literally bombing food now in order to starve them. Whatever about what's going on in Yemen about the different parties who think who should be running the country, the bombing has to stop. And you're talking about the humanitarian aid. Give us a break, Minister. The same people who are giving humanitarian aid are the same people providing the bombs to actually. The Medicine Sans Frontier were in the Foreign Affairs Committee today, and they said that the people, it's a self-sustaining industry now, war. So we have the Germans and the French and the Brits and the US providing the bombs, and the same people then, they're bombing hospitals and they're providing funding to rebuild them and create more. It's a bit like Halliburton making more money in Iraq than some of the bomb makers that dropped the bombs in the first place to cause the destruction. Minister, providing humanitarian aid isn't the solution. Stopping the bombing has to be the start of a solution. And please, Ireland should be fighting this at European level, Taoiseach.
Can you conclude on this matter?
Yeah, I can. And we are, Deputy. But I mean, sometimes when you raise issues like this, and I think you're very genuine when you raise them, and you're normally well informed as well. You know, the calling for the stopping of bombing is one thing. Actually making it happen is another. And the way that Ireland can be effective in doing that is to work through EU channels to try and do it. I'm not quite sure what you're asking me to do. I have raised the Yemeni issue and the Yemen war on multiple occasions. There wasn't a long debate on it in this week's Foreign Affairs Council, so I wasn't able to do it. But that's not an indication of the fact that I haven't raised this issue and spoken about it, in particular in relation to the humanitarian impact of conflict and the need to bring that conflict to an end. That's why there's a UN Special Envoy there. That's why the EU supports that Special Envoy to try and find a way forward on that. That's why I raised it today, only a couple of hours ago, with the Saudi ambassador in my office, along with raising the issues of Jamal Khashoggi also. But that's because, Deputy, with respect, we don't have the full facts yet. As usual, you want to be the first out to call for dramatic actions. We were well informed on Salisbury before we made decisions, and we've been proven to be right since. And we are, in time, going to be a lot better informed in relation to what happened here. So I don't think, Deputy, that you should jump to conclusions just yet. Despite the fact that I think a lot of people have been shocked by what happened here, where and how it happened also. But I do think that we should wait to establish what happened with as much certainty as possible. Deputy, you have the privilege here in opposition of being able to, stand up and say whatever you want, to make accusations, make assumptions. I am a foreign minister, and I need to make sure that I make decisions on the basis of facts and informed content.
Thank you, Tom.